All right, episode 18, Chickamauga. Found a great spot. Let's go out to Chickamauga and I'll show you what I found. It's in 10 feet of water, technically, but your boat is sitting at about 25 feet. But the fish are kind of all suspended at about 10 feet of water. Big 14 pounders, the kind you need to win the open. Oh, I'm going the wrong way again. All right, before I went that way, this is almost at the bottom. Well, it is towards the bottom of the map. It's very interesting. There's a bunch of splashes, bubbles in the water. I have not yet given it a full hour to see if you can win the Chickamauga Open. The Lake Chickamauga Online Open online tournament on this spot. That is the mission. That is the episode 18. That is what we're doing today, to prove this spot, to test it. Now, I'll be using a drop shot because, yes, you can get to 10 feet with a quarter-ounce jig head and maybe a little heavier Ned rig, but I've been using the drop shot a lot, honestly, guys. So I'm just more proficient with that right now, and I'm more comfortable with it. All right, you see how I'm at 25 feet, 26 feet, 27, 28, 30 feet, 32, see where my marker, where this wall is. Here's this far southern area, okay? There is a spot here. I won't call it a raging hot spot, but it is a spot where the quality of largemouth is unusually high. I'm talking about 14.8s, 14.13s. And I caught a couple of those here, so I do want to prove this spot for an hour. Wow, this is saying 31 feet of water. Before it said like 25. Let's see. 30, 29, 27. Okay, so now I'm going to back up right on my marker. Where I was before seemed to be about perfect to me. Now, I don't think you really want to get too close to that landmass. You want to be backed off a ways. Because when I pulled up too close, I found that with the drop shot, that the largest bass were directly underneath my boat. And you see I'm getting a many giant fish reading. Oh, just past there. But keep your eye on my fish finder here as we fish. Okay, so I will be using the drop shot 3/16 ounce. This 3/16 ounce with a 4/0 drop shot, 50-pound braid, and the tremor shad. So I've been having unbelievable success with deeper spots and getting giant bass lately. Okay, so I've seen splashes and bubbles here. And I saw some over here. After I caught a fish in here, I saw some over here. But I forget exactly where they were. So let's just start on this position where there's splashes in the water. You see the bubbles there and the splashes. And I'm almost like over top of one of those splashes. Now, what I found is if you look on the fish finder, it's 20 feet deep, and the fish are no deeper than about 10 feet. So it looks like you want to retrieve and keep your drop shot around 10 feet deep. That is what it's looking like. So I'm going to try over here. See if we can get a 14-pound gorilla. A 14-pound monster is basically the goal. And I want to see, like, if I can get 5 14-pounders in 1 hour from 7 a.m. to 1500, the exact time of the tournament.
What do you got?
You notice the fish finder here. This is free fishing, and the fish finder don't lie during free fishing. And I found, like, if you want to keep your drop shot, your 3/16 ounce drop shot at about 10 feet deep, all you have to do is just retrieve it right away. Just as soon as it hits the water, just kind of retrieve it. I am seeing some bass over here. Maybe that spot was even farther to the left. But we're going for 14-pound largemouth. And I've seen bubbles and splashes to the left and directly in front of this position. This looks like it could be a legendary spotted bass. On episode 18, it's got a heartbeat, it's a spotted bass. It's at least a trophy. Oh, it does look like it could be one. Not sure. No. An average trophy.
Basszilla.
Let's keep on fishing. See what we get. Just many giant fish on the fish finder. Oh my goodness. Oh, he didn't go for it. It only looks to be about a 10-pounder. I mean, guys, the 14-pounders on Chickamauga are very distinctive. I mean, you know when you're looking at one of the 13s or 14s here, because they look a lot bigger than the 10s and the 12s. But it does seem like the largemouth here is exceptionally high quality. And I guess you could use a jig head or a Ned rig. But I found that in the deeper spots in particular, it's just faster, guys. It's just like faster to go with the drop shot. The drop shot is really quick. And it outruns the stripers, it outruns the gar, and yet the bass can catch up to it very quickly. So for a spot where, you know, it's really deep and you're trying to cover a lot of water quickly, I mean, the drop shot is an absolute no-brainer. Look how fast this thing moves. And this is, you can go slower, but it doesn't move much slower. You can go to 1 and look how fast it moves. It's still, wow. That's a big one. So you see the quality of these largemouth here. Let's see if I can get him. Where is he? He may have despawned. No, there he is. He just despawned. Okay. No, there's another one. There's one in here. So I put my speed to 1. See if I can catch up with this monster that was in here. Going up to 2. I got a heartbeat on this largemouth, and you notice, like, I'm catching a lot of largemouth here. And it's a sign of a great, great largemouth spot when you just simply catch a lot of them, like all different sizes. But of course, we are looking for the 14s here primarily. And it looks to be a 14, guys. Wow. Now, ideally, during the tournament, you want like 14.8s or better, okay? So this is not ideal, but it is an excellent sign. I caught a 14.8 in practice over here. I think you want to retrieve it so it's around 10. You notice the fish finder. They're all above that little white dotted line. That means they're all above 10 feet deep. So you want to kind of keep the drop shot above that range, above 10 feet. You don't really need to go too deep here with the drop shot. That's why I got a 3/16 ounce drop shot here and not like a heavier one, because I really don't want it to sink too deep. The fish I'm looking for, man, they are all at 10 feet deep. Can I get 5 14-pounders? And really 14.8s, 14.10s, 13s. Those bigger 14s is what is going to win you the Chickamauga Online Open.
Not gonna set any records with that.
Is this spot good enough?
Solid keeper.
And you see the bubbles in the water. Is this spot good enough to deliver 5 giant largemouth in 1 hour? With this lure, with these 2 positions, I got my first 14. It just wasn't a super 14. It was a, like a basic 14. See, my lure is actually at 15 feet deep right now. So I really kind of don't want that. I wonder if just using like, ooh. I wonder if just using like a 1/4 ounce jig head here would be better. My buddy Big E777, we've been playing a lot together, and he refuses to use a drop shot. I mean, he just believes in the jig head and the Ned rig more than using a drop shot.
Not gonna set any records with that. But at least
I'm going to back up a little more because I'm noticing the bass are kind of suspended like right under my boat. That's why I said I don't think you should get too close and stay pretty well away from that landmass. That was a striper. Oh, you see now I'm actually in 16 feet of water. So the depth changed radically as I moved back a little bit. That is one thing to take pretty seriously in Bassmaster, are depth changes. They can hold some of the best largemouth at, like when you're looking deep in deeper water, it seems to be when the depth changes is when you get some of the best largemouth action.
I'm not going to set any records with that one, but it's a solid
As I
big
back
bite.
up, I get a really tiny one.
Jig.
So maybe I'll move up. I just found this spot. There's splashes everywhere. There's bubbles in the water, and I'm catching like 14s, which are like ideal for the online open. So of course I'm taking the spot quite seriously and trying to see if I can get 5 14s or as big of 14s as possible in 1 hour from 7 a.m. to 1500. How many giants is this spot going to give me? I think a lot of people make the mistake of thinking that because a spot is not like packed, you know, like that there's not a million fish in one little tiny zone, that it can't be a winning position, or there, it's going to be harder to get a legendary largemouth bass, or it might not even be worth fishing because it's too deep or too sparse, you know? Like there's not enough fish there, but that's not really what matters. What matters is the quality of the fish that are there. Not necessarily how many fish are there, but how big are the ones there that are there, in my opinion. I wish I could see some bubbles over here like I did before, because I'm not exactly sure where to pitch over here. But I saw bubbles over here. So you're clearly meant to pitch in both at both points with some kind of deeper presentation that can get down to like 10 feet pretty quickly. I chose to use a drop shot. That's just my preference in this case. I think it's the fastest. I can cover a ton of water with it. I can get a lot of casts, and I can outrun stripers and gar and other fish I don't want. And I just say, as soon as that tremor shed hits about 10 feet, now I'm down to 17 all of a sudden. Oh my gosh. Yeah, got him. This is one of the bass I'm looking for. And I mean, if you don't see him right away, come on, guys. I mean, really, like you expect catching the biggest trophies on any given map to be like some effortless task. I mean, in my opinion, you got to give the spots time to produce the size of bass that you really need and want. Now, I have no doubt you can catch a legendary largemouth bass in this position. Look at the size of this big brown bass. And he was off to the left. He's enormous. Wow. Oh my goodness. Wow. A
Big fish, big fish,
14.9.
and no
All right.
whammy.
Now I have two 14s. I have a 14 even almost and a 14.9. I have two of the fish I need for the online open. Back to the right position. How productive will this wind up being in 1 hour? That's what I ask myself. That's a normal 10 pounder, looks like. Doesn't look like anything absolutely enormous. I do not believe that's a 14, one of the ones I'm looking for. What was that? I think that was a drum. That was a drum. Because that was not green. That was not a bass. Just missed it, whatever it was. It was like light brown, so it had to be a drum. But I caught a 14.9, guys, so I do believe that I am at the right distance from this landmass.
Yes. Somebody cut a toe.
I'm quite a ways from it. In a 16-foot spot. But there's also like an almost 30-foot spot that might work. You'll have to use your judgment. You know, when you come here, uh, what what position works for you? You know, that's the important thing. Okay, I don't have a heartbeat on this bass, so it's not even trophy.
What do you got?
Not a giant trophy. It's 10 a.m.
Yes. Somebody cut a
I've
toe.
spent 3 game hours to catch two 14s. a decent result, a very normal result. Say if this was the online open, that would be an excellent result to get two 14s in, you know, under 30 minutes, under 30 real-time minutes.
You're gonna have a few competitors trembling with that too.
I just kind of caught one off to the left, so if you don't see me pitching off to the left, that's why. I just got one over there. And so I'm kind of thinking the next one should be over here. One more cast over in this direction. There's always bubbles and splashes. I say try to keep it up around 10 feet deep. It's hard to do because the drop shot just drops. Even the 3/16 ounce, it just drops like a stone, and it can be hard to keep it around 10 feet deep and not go much deeper. But I have found that I've been able to catch up to the 14 pounders with the drop shot. During the open, I'm not sure. I can't tell you for absolute certain that the drop shot is going to be the most reliable rig. Like my buddy Big E says, he can catch anything with a jig head or a Ned rig. And he doesn't really like the drop shot.
Check out the green beast from beneath.
I feel like I'm stubbornly looking for a 14 over here, when perhaps I should be pitching off to the left where I caught the other one. It seems like every bass I'm catching has got a heartbeat. But the issue is they're not all 14s, guys. They're just not. And but if it's got a heartbeat, you feel like you kind of got to bring it in to just make sure that it isn't. Because in the open, no, this is definitely not. So I am going to let that bass go. I pitched a bunch of times off to the left and did not even see the fish I was looking for. I wish those bubbles would appear again off to the left here, so I would know for sure exactly where to put this drop shot. Because I forget exactly where they appeared last time. But it's a good bet if you're not sure where to cast, but you suspect super trophies around nearby. There's some right there in front of the boat, slightly off to the left, but I saw some way over here. When I first found this spot, All right, here's one that was like right under the boat here. It's maybe a 12 or 13, maybe a 14. I really can't tell yet. Gosh, wouldn't that be awesome to see a Scarlet, Brett, Serenity, or Hunter right now? That sure would be good for the sake of the video. Catch one of those bad boys and girls. It sure looks huge, but it could be a 13, or honestly, it could be a 12. I don't know what it is yet. Kind of hopped, but yeah, the 10 pounders and 12 pounders, they jump. They jump out of the water. That one couldn't jump. It's, wow, a 14.3. So I have my third fish. I have my third 14. And you see here that the legendary largemouth begin. Hunter is, the smallest one is 15.2. So you're really looking for trophies that are in the range, the 14 range. Those are the trophies that will win you the Chickamauga Online Open. Oh, wow, wow, look at the fish finder. Oh, my goodness. What has occurred? What has taken place? Well, I pulled three 14s out of here, and it completely died. Look at the fish finder. It was screaming a second ago. I caught that third 14, and hey, it dried up completely. Let's see if it turns back on. It did. It turned back on. And I'm seeing mostly everything over to the left here. Some more trophy largemouth. Oh, there's some bubbles right there. Those are the same bubbles I saw before. Oh, wait, are they? I don't think so. Guys, it's constant large, at least with the drop shot here, it's constant largemouth. Now that is unusual. Like, as Chickamauga goes, there are many different species here, and to just steady catch largemouth and like next to nothing else is unusual. I'm way down at 20 feet deep here, playing around, flipping with my my lure, and I should be up at 10 feet. When am I going to hook into Serenity or definitely Scarlet? Scarlet's the biggest. So I only need two more 14s to basically prove my case here about this location and these two casting points. And now I'm down to like 15, 14. Need to get up a little bit where the bass are. There they are. But, you know, it's probably a little easier to get through there like perfectly at 10 feet deep with a jig head, honestly. And yet, you get more casts, you move faster with a drop shot. So I just do favor the drop shot in this case because it does get down to 10 feet very quickly. It just sometimes kind of falls below and gets very easily into the 15-foot range. Then you're kind of under the fish, and you don't want that either. Yeah, now it is really, really slowed down. Since I caught that third 14, but I'm not deterred. I'm not discouraged. I know that there are spots in this game that will give you all the maximum size trophies that you need to get a max bag during the open. And that's my mission. To find out if this spot is going to deliver that. Is this spot going to deliver 5 over 14 pound largemouth in an hour? At least with a drop shot. All right, we are coming up on 12 noon. So hopefully we will see a change in the busyness of this area. But I'd be lying if I told you that, you know, this can't last until maybe 1. It could. It should be an epic challenge to pull 5 over 14 out of this lake. It should be an epic challenge to do that in 60 minutes time. And that's what this video is all concerned with. I put a lot of action in my drop shot. Does it help? Does it do anything? I don't know. But it sure is fun. All you do is jerk around the right toggle while you press L2 and retrieve it. That's all you do, is just move it in like a circular motion, and it'll flip. It'll flip the drop shot. Not even a trophy there. But I did see some other largemouth in here. Need 2 more over 14. And there's plenty of largemouth in here, but I wasn't casting over towards them. I was so dead set on casting on the right and then far to the left I didn't realize there's some largemouth in the middle.
Yes. Holy Papa, what do you got?
Come on, 14 pounders, where are you? And if I do get 5 14s, guys, I will end the video. I mean, I'm not going to waste your time. If I get 5 14s, I will consider this a pretty successful episode, and we'll just end it right there. That's where I saw the most splashes and bubbles. Right parallel with that tree there. Now the fish finder is saying many small fish, but I wonder if there's the occasional 14 in here. And you can glean it, you can collect it to give you 4 14s. There's something. Got a heartbeat. It's a trophy largemouth bass. It was cruising around just directly under the front of this boat. Guys, I think this could be, by chance, my 4th 14. I came in pretty quick. No. Nope.
Check out the green beast from beneath.
It's going to be a bigger challenge than that. And yet the fish finder is getting happier. Now that we've hit 12:30, and we've just had to wait a little bit, we're getting many large fish back on this fish finder. Oh my goodness. See the bubbles over there? It seems like this whole area in here is good for giant largemouth trophies, like high 14s. But I want you to try all this on your own and practice with it and see if you don't get comfortable with it and enjoy fishing on this spot for largemouth, because it's constant. They're not all 14s, but who cares? I mean, if they were all 14s, it would just be miserable. You'd be done in 2 minutes. You'd have 5 14s, you'd win the online open, and no one would care if it wasn't a challenge. There would be nothing to be proud of if you won, especially fishing off this new honey hole that very few people seem to know about. I haven't seen anything on YouTube about this spot. It seems as though I've been making an error. And this spot way off to the left is probably not the most optimal spots. This has got to be another 14 here. It's about time. No.
You have caught an absolutely driller gorilla.
I was hoping. See on the right side of this tree? I just saw some bubbles on the right side of this tree as well. Come on, where are you, super heavyweight largemouth bass? Come to me. Well, it doesn't look like a 14. Those things look really distinct. Yeah, I mean, they look so big on Chickamauga that you really kind of know when you have one. I doubt this is a 14. Maybe it's a 12 or a 13. It does look big. It's just, I don't know if it looks 14 big. No, it certainly does not. No.
That right there is a Bassmaster.
It was a 10-pound trophy anyway. And notice all I've caught is largemouth. This is like a really special largemouth spot here. And on Chickamauga, it's a real challenge to catch like nothing but largemouth. Like for one solid hour, I haven't caught anything but largemouth. Oh my goodness. Wow. This could be a 13 or a 4. Oh my goodness. This is almost certainly my fourth 14, and it's 1310. It's 1300 hours. And I've got 2 more game hours to get my last one. To max out my bag. And although my 14s that I did catch weren't the absolute most giant beasts, like, you know, I didn't get any 1410s or 1413s. Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have found Basszilla.
Okay, so there's a new bit of information here. When I'm casting in here, this tree right here, my rod is parallel with, when I cast in this section, I'm getting the best results. But you can get 14s over here. However, they seem to be sometimes on the smaller end over here. That was a 15. I mean, Hunter is only like a 15 too. And he's a legendary largemouth bass. So now I've got 3 14s and a 15. Just by doing this. And do you think I'll get another 14 in the next next 2 game hours? Yes, I think perhaps I may. I doubt this is a 14 so soon after that 15.
There
12.
has been a Bassquatch sighting.
Now I'm starting to pitch on the right side of this tree. And that's the whole point of this whole excursion, is just to learn like more and more about what we need to do here to win the open on this position. You see those bubbles, those splashes. If you're too far up on the landmass, you're too close to the land, you're going to totally miss this spot. You have to be backed off quite a ways. The fish are down at 10 feet. That's probably like at least a 13 there. I wish I could just attract him somehow. He's way over there now. He's not coming. One more 14 and I'll totally prove my case. And we'll end the episode there. I know it's been long-winded. It's been hard to hang with me, jaw jacking so much. But it's my show, and I just don't want to like have a peaceful, quiet time. I'm a rock and roll spirit myself, not a peace and quiet spirit. I gotta have noise. I gotta have rock and roll. I mean, I fall asleep with my TV on every night. That's just me, I just gotta have like sound.
Somebody got towed.
But how long before you catch a legendary largemouth bass in here? I mean, I've caught a 1410 in here, 1413, and a 15, all with the drop shot and tremor shad. All right, well, actually, I'm down to one more game hour here to achieve one more over 14 pounder to give me an unbelievable bag. If this was the online open, it would be a highly, highly competitive bag. I mean, no legendaries. But now I'm seeing like more and more fish right in front of this tree here. Like on both sides of it, there seems to be kind of a concentration of like bigger largemouth here. But I don't know the spot. This is my first time ever fishing a full hour on this spot for, oh my goodness. Well, I got one of them. It doesn't look to be the bigger of the two. He's really slow though. That could be a good. No. He's like a 10 pounder. But I wouldn't give up hope just yet. Because I saw some beauties in there. Just barely missed them. Wow, a 1310. Now, guys, obviously you want a 1410, but if I don't get it, I have a 1310 as my fifth fish. So I feel as though I have really achieved what I set out to do, and I learned something. That pitching around in front of this tree is probably more profitable than pitching way off to the left so much. And I'll certainly do another episode sometime where I only pitch around this tree, kind of off to the right of it and left of it. But I got 5 minutes. 5 minutes to catch a big 14 or 15. This is not my fish. There's got to be one in here over 14. And I can prove my case about this position and this presentation and the combination of the two. Will I get my 14? I almost did. I mean, that 1310 is about as close as you can get, but it's not quite a 14. So I cannot say I got 5 14s here. I can say I practically got it. That may be a super large one there. Sometimes you can't tell the difference between the 10s and the 15s sometimes, but oh my goodness gracious. Well, it's a trophy. It's got a heartbeat, so it's at least another trophy to just demonstrate, guys. It's been nothing but largemouth. So try this out, but don't get too close to the land. Episode 18 in the books. A very interesting, fun episode where I learned something about Chickamauga. Is this a really big one? No.
Check out the green beast from beneath.
Well, I actually have, about 2 more minutes on my PlayStation where I can record. So let's go for that final giant. At around 10 to 15 feet here. Oh my God, there it is. Come on. No. 2 minutes. I am the worst of all time with this net.
What do you got?
So if you're bad with it too, then we are brethren. Because that net is about the most frustrating thing sometimes. When you just can't get it and you can't get it and you can't get it no matter what. All right. So I got like a 13-15 and a 13-10. And I believe it's because I was pitching off to the left so much. And in a pinch, I think you can do that. I did catch 14s over there. They just weren't like 14-10s, 14-13s or anything. I got my big 15 right in front of the boat. So check this spot out, guys, and say goodbye to Moses Abraham Jackson Johnson. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.